Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Today I've got a game for you on Land of Fire. It's a domination mode game and a division game. Usually I don't play in divisions, but I happened to be watching, the other day, a stream by Gauzy Gaming. And his streams are pretty entertaining to watch. I was not the only one watching. So was my fellow community contributor, Tactic Angel. So we got into a division together and tried to do a little bit of stream sniping on Gauzy. I think we succeeded once, but by the time I got on my PlayStation 4 and got into a division with Tactic, well, Gauzy's stream was nearly over. So we played a couple of games afterwards, and this one was probably our best result. A legendary division featuring myself in the Großer Kurfürst with Tactic Angel in the Shimakaze. And I believe Tactic probably was a little bit disappointed in my commander choice. I did not put it up on the screen, by the way, but it is Henry J. Hyde, and it's a build I've featured in many of my previous GK videos, of which, there are a lot. And this is another one, so if you're sick of seeing the Großer Kurfürst, I don't know what to tell you. This is a good game, though. You aren't going to regret it. Tactic Angel and I single-handedly win this game. No spoilers. I suppose that was a spoiler. Enemy Yamato out there, though. Took a shot at him, did absolutely nothing. He took a shot at me, took out 2 of my 4 turrets, which is quite frustrating. But we have a Fletcher out there, and that Fletcher is now smoking up, shooting not at me, but at the ship behind me, which is a bit of an interesting choice on his part. Enemy Yamato out there driving broadside. Because of the previous Yamato's transgressions against my ship, I can't really shoot him with maximum effect. So 1300 damage is the best I'm going to get for my opening damage salvo. Meanwhile, Tactic Angel has a wall of skill going into the Fletcher's smoke screen. Will that skill be enough to take the Fletcher down? Looks like the answer on that is negative. The Fletcher now begins to shoot at me and unleash his unholy HE spam. Torpedoes coming my way as well. I'm in a pretty stationary position, and I'm going to have to move forward here. Probably still going to take 1 torpedo because the Großer Kurfürst, it's not like it goes very fast in the startup. And indeed, 1 torpedo hits the broadside for 11k. Gotta engage 1 of my 4 heals, courtesy of Henry J. Hyde. And at this point, I would like a little bit of revenge on this Fletcher. Hit the Yamato there for 6k. Not too terrible of a result. But now, main guns trained on the destroyer. And in retrospect, I sort of wish I had saved that 6k Yamato salvo for that Fletcher. In any case, the first Yamato that we actually damaged continues to sail broadside. This time I have 6 guns available to me instead of 3. The result is a Citadel for 18,000 damage. Fletcher has gone behind the island and is safe, at least for now. But the secondaries begin to open up, and I realize I haven't actually made a Großer Kurfürst secondary video since the update that provided all of the ships with secondary buffs. So I suppose this video sort of could serve that purpose. Enemy Yamato still out there making questionable decisions and getting punished for it, not quite as severely as perhaps he might have deserved. Secondaries begin their work on the secondary Yamato, who is firing high explosive, perhaps because there is a Shimakaze in the area that he is aware of. Of course, that Shimakaze is now launching torpedoes his way, so, not a whole lot he can do. First Yamato, once more, continuing to demonstrate some interesting judgment. Unfortunately, we can't punish him for it. Another torpedo salvo from Tactic Angel heading his way. My GK is on pretty low health at this point, and I think it was around now, as I am engaging these two Yamatos, where I'm kind of thinking, I'm not really going to come out of this alive. Then again, we've got two destroyers, both of my team's destroyers, on this flank here. Tactic torpedoing the Yamatos, and this other destroyer also sending some torpedoes their way, forcing this Yamato to turn broadside in front of me. Torpedoes from the destroyer, who is not Tactic Angel, are not quite enough to finish him off, but then Tactic comes in with a kill. That Yamato hits me for 10k, and we'll see if I can take care of him before he gets to ram me, down to 12,000 hit points, but the main guns are enough to take him off. Take him out. 119 secondary hits scored so far. The unfortunate thing about these Großer Kurfürst secondaries, which Tactic Angel and I were discussing after this game, is that when you bring them into situations like this versus enemy battleships, they do tend to shoot at the side armor, or the armor belt, the armor plating. And as you may or may not know, the HE shells on German ships, cruisers specifically, but also secondaries on battleships, those HE shells have better penetration than your typical HE shells. Most of the time, if you want to figure out the armor value that your high explosive can penetrate, you take the caliber of the shell and divide by 6. Germans get to divide by 4. Even so, shooting at an armored belt of a battleship, not going to be lucrative. However, firing the main guns and the secondaries at a Tashkent, not so bad. He goes down for our second kill of the match, and we've done a reasonable 91,000 damage so far. 4 ships have been destroyed on the enemy team, 2 of them by me, 2 of them by Tactic Angel. Our team has lost 3 ships, and we are ahead on points, but the enemy, being ahead on caps, may change that situation very soon. Tactic and I are going to have to work hard to win this match, and I think it was at this point that Tactic Angel, being so close to me in his Shimakaze, criticized me for using Henry J. Hyde, who does not in fact come with will to rebuild. And fair enough, he does have a point. Will to rebuild would have been nice. Tactic Angel's proximity to my ship would have activated it. Nevertheless, I do still have some repair parties left, at least one, and those are going to come in handy, especially as this Baltimore begins a campaign of high explosive spam against my ship. We hit him in return, though, and the results are a tad bit more catastrophic. Following up with the 2 rear turrets, this shot not quite on the money, only 1,300 damage there, but the front 2 turrets, they're about to be reloaded, engaging the last repair party as the fire burns. Secondaries begin to open up, and with these, against even a heavy cruiser like the Baltimore, we're still going to get damaging hits. There was that Citadel sort of obscuring the damage we're doing, but we've activated the secondary booster, and take a look at how these secondaries just chew right through this Baltimore's armor, hitting him nearly every time for damaging hits there. Not terribly fun, I would assume, to be on the receiving end of salvos like this. Now, we have wisely saved our damage control consumable. Baltimore lit 2 fires. We're able to take those 2 fires out, or rather extinguish them, by saving our damage control. Excellent tip. Never too much harping can be done on utilizing your damage control party effectively. Single fire, don't use it. Wait till you get double fires, and then use it. It can save your life, as it did mine there. At this point, though, my prediction has come true. The enemy team, while we are still ahead on ships at this point, is ahead on points. Because of them holding the majority of cap circles for the majority of this game. Luckily for us, the enemy Yamato out there is engaged in chasing the last remaining friendly battleship on our team. It's a Bismarck. Gonna take a shot at him, safely concealed behind this island. Lightning over here. Not a lot of hit points left. Hoping to get into position to have my secondaries begin to sing, but it is not to be so. Tactic Angel reminds us that Japanese destroyers do in fact have guns, with his kill on the Shimakaze. He is now entering the Bravo cap. Torpedoes are headed, I assume, for him, but given their path, they may very well hit me, so I am going to have to turn out of the way and dodge. That enemy Yamato is still working on the Bismarck, who is sailing into the corner of the map as Tactic begins to flip Bravo. Enemy Yamato is the only red ship left on the enemy team, and now we have overtaken the enemies on points. That is almost certainly going to change when this Yamato inevitably takes out the enemy Bismarck, but not before I score a citadel on his broadside, and I believe that may be the last remaining damage I score for this game. As you can see on the map, the enemy Yamato is moving closer to the final battleship besides me on our team. That is that Bismarck. He is grayed out on the map. Well, I mean, not grayed out. His blue on the map was faded since he was so far away that I couldn't even see him. But now he is grayed out because he has been sunk by the Yamato, temporarily putting the enemy team ahead on points. There are still 2 minutes left to go in this match, though, and since Tactic has flipped Bravo and is now going to enter Charlie, we have this match squarely in the bag. So, again, a crossroads we have come to. The choices before me: sit here quietly behind this island in cover and seclusion, invisible to the Yamato, or go out and try my luck with 13,000 hit points against an enemy battleship that almost certainly has more and has much bigger and arguably more effective guns than I do. Win smarter or win harder? Well, as we know, if we are familiar with the mighty jingles from the PC, winning harder is not winning at all. So instead, I choose to win smarter. Tactic is going to flip the Charlie cap, and that essentially is going to secure our victory. And while the ending of this game is perhaps not glamorous, it does go to show that, again, winning harder is not winning smarter. The only way to win smarter is to recognize that you have the advantage, and to recognize that if you were to go out and fight an enemy Yamato, you would die, and then you might lose. I mean, maybe we wouldn't lose, but again, there's only like less than a minute left, so it is what it is. Try to pull forward now, maybe get one last parting shot on that Yamato. Spoiler alert, I do not, but when you take a look at the results screen of this game, you will see that Tactic and I are the only ones responsible for taking any kills and probably any caps in this game. Together, we single-handedly won it. So, thanks Tactic for the great game. If for some reason you haven't checked out his channel, I suppose since I'm mentioning it, you might follow the link I left in the description. He's got great stuff that I really like to watch. And you might check out Gauzy Gaming too, since I mentioned him. I'll put a link to his channel in the description as well. Anyway, that was just a fun little video for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.